I'm managing partner of Almaz Capital, which is a fund which was created. First our fund was in 2008, and 2000. Recently we closed the second fund. And we specialize in bringing the companies from emerging markets or small markets to the global market. It is our major activity. So we have 2 Ukrainian companies.
Okay. So far?
Sorry?
So far?
So far, yes. So we have a big portfolio, but mostly coming from different other places, but 2 real Ukrainian companies which came out from there. One is the first fund, which named Galitskiy. And recently we closed, actually we have 3 companies.
Okay.
So we have second company Starwind, which we closed recently, and our cycle. All of them is very technological, since we focus on technological deals. And all of them are related to deep technology driven, and we are happy to have them in our portfolio. I don't know what to add more.
How's their performance so far?
Startups are startups, so.
Okay.
So, but we are happy, we're still happy, we support companies. So, some of them is very unique. So, since if you're speaking about Starlink, you guys also participate.
Yeah, just for the means no advertisement, but we co-invested with AVentures and Almaz Capital, the Starlink.
So, even taking Starlink, as a guy brought company, sitting in a wheelchair for let's say $3 million sales from Kyiv, it is pretty big achievement, especially for all sales going in the United States. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And you always will be happy to help this company to grow.
Yeah. Okay. Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Goldberg. I'm a partner at Venrock. Venrock's a U.S.-based firm, been around a long time. It was the original money from John D. Rockefeller from the 1920s. So it's a very old firm, formalized in 1969, and we are now a diversified fund with many limited partners, the people that give us the money that we invest. The funds are about $500 million or so. We manage about 2.6 billion since the inception of the firm back in the late 60s. And we do, I guess it's an easy thing to say because we sort of do everything. We do about 40% healthcare and 60% tech. But of the healthcare and tech, we do biotech, we do healthcare IT, we do the standard stuff that everyone else does, the enterprise software, consumer. And then for me, I'm the science guy. So I work with everyone else, but my focus is on kind of the hardcore technology things. It includes hardware, but signal processing, whether it's drones or wearables or robots or space. And big data sort of fits in there because of a lot of the algorithmic component. So I do a little of everything. We have 3 offices. We're in New York, Boston, and in Palo Alto. And I guess I don't think we have any Ukrainian investments, but I guess it's one of the things I can talk about on the panel. And the one thing I would just start out with by saying is we're always just looking for the best companies. There's a few caveats that sort of help us invest in terms of having partners and things that we can talk about. But we're out there looking for the best companies, which in one sense is hard, but it makes the story easy.
Okay, we'll get that in the next question. Roman?
Hi everybody, I'm Roman Simonov. I'm Managing Director of Civil Data Company. It's New York headquarters, headquartered 11 billion money manager. Mostly funds of funds business, but we invest globally. In the region, I'm responsible for technology investments. We have several companies that touch Ukraine. One is EPAM Systems, obviously, that sponsors this conference. Very successful investment. Public company in New York Stock Exchange. We still hold a large position there. We're also investors in company called Global Logic. It's not a Ukrainian company, but has more than 2,000 software programmers in Ukraine, mostly in Kyiv. We also were investors in a company called Slice, which is headquartered here in Palo Alto with 95% of all developers based in Odessa. We just sold it, this company in August, just months ago, to Rakuten. It's Japanese Amazon.com of Japan.
Yeah.
Very successful exit.
Congratulations, yeah.
Very successful exit, and there were several bidders, and some bidders looked at the Ukrainian team as an ability, some looked as an asset. So whoever wanted that asset actually. We have a company here in Mountain View, which is started by people from Ukraine, called RethinkDB. And they developing databases for unstructured data, for tweets, for likes, where Oracle is not good. So we were excited about that company.
So it's your recent investment?
No, we did initial round, then we did follow-on round.
Follow-on?
Yes, follow-on round. It's a pretty good company. There are several large firms, from Davidow there, from DJ to Andreessen, Horowitz. And we're going to announce another deal, hopefully next week, high-profile deal, but I cannot mention about it yet.
Okay. Thank you, Roman. Thank you, panelists, for introduction. Well, since people here sit in the room, I assume many of them interested in investments. And in this regard, would be interested to hear from you. What is your focus? What is current focus on? What is the trends you believe in? And are you open for investment to the company with Ukrainian origin? For this type of questions. Because I advertised in the hall there that we got the panelists with $1 million money available to invest in, okay? And that's including AVentures capital also. But anyway, so please share us your thoughts on your current focus, your trends, what you believe in. Please.
As I told already, our focus is very straightforward. So our focus is to bring company, technologically driven company, from small market to a big market. But usually this happens that we land in the US, since the US is the biggest market. This is the reason we have office in Silicon Valley with 4 professionals working there, and we have covering our activity, scattered from Moscow. We have our activity in the European part. So, and we stretch our efforts through Eastern Europe and trying to get the best. So, as I told you, doing technological deals stages is mostly between A Syria, but understanding the problem with these territories, we understand that we need to support companies on all the stages.
Right.
And we have a special program, which is named Seed Program, where we join someone who leads the deal. Yes, so we usually come with check, joining some lead investor in seed deal.
What's the amount you put in?
In Syria A, we put in up to $15 million, but speaking about Syria A, I mean in the life cycle of the company, because sometimes we are doing the 10 immediately, but from point of view of seed, we up to 250,000, we decided is a good ability to give people to get some ground. So if speaking about our cycle, this was our seed investment.
We have companies in the hall that are looking for 250,000 angel investors.
They need to have lead.
Okay,
They need to have lead.
We got leads here.
So lead, qualified lead for us, it is some entrepreneur with vision, need not inside but outside of the company, or some other type of organization like incubator or seed fund. So
any just a short question. Any favorite verticals or verticals you don't invest in? Just to understand.
We're not investing in e-commerce.
Okay.
I mean, it's related to logistics, related to stuff, delivery, guaranteed to invest in social, sorry. So we try to invest everything which is related to technology, not marketplace. We invest on the technological deal, not marketplace deal.
Okay, thank you for that. Steve, what is your
Yeah.
favorite?
So you asked a bunch of questions about sort of what was hot and how we made. So I'll just give short answers and you can ask whatever you like. But I would say we're not much different than many other investors these days where even though I am the hardware guy, I sort of know my place. It's still very difficult to invest in early stage hardware companies, which is one of the wonderful reasons that Kickstarter and Indiegogo and these crowd-funded sites are so helpful, because it allows companies with relatively little money to get a sense of what the market appeal is for the company. And there's been lots and lots of stories, not just a few, of companies that have done well on those sites, hardware companies, where there have been follow-on investments and very mainstream Series A, Series B investments. But the active areas are clearly still software. We do a lot of ad tech. We do fintech, financial tech. There's still a lot of payments activities, social communications. I mean, whenever you have $19 billion exits, you know, the WhatsApp thing, there's a tail, and there's still lots of people looking at variations. It seems to us that there's more interest now in video communications than just the pure text-based or speech-based, so we are looking at that area. And then we look at enterprise deals. A lot of traditional markets that now can be served through SaaS, you know, software as a service, are being sort of reinvented. So we're seeing a lot of companies that have done traditional things with new business models. So I would say that's kind of, you know, what's happening. And in terms of our ability to invest in Ukrainian companies, I think the straightforward and the easy way is to say it's a model that you don't have to invent. Israel, Australia, France, Germany, Sweden, I can think of, you know, a dozen countries. And basically the model is R&D can stay in the country where the company was founded, but we're looking for a U.S. activity. So it doesn't have to be the larger percentage of the company, but there has to be a U.S. activity. And we often would look for partners that are close. So if the company's headquarters in the U.S., we can lead the deal as long as things are here. For us to invest overseas, we look for a local investor. And so folks that are already doing business in the region, so we can be close, and if you need help, we can get the investors easily. But in terms of working in the United States, the model of headquarters here, some business traction here, but the majority of your business outside works just fine.
Thank you. It's an interesting topic you touched upon in terms of Israel model. We'll have a question after that. Roman?
We are flexible. We've done deals $300,000 at CSA. We've done deals $50 million secondary buyout deals.
Okay.
Right? So we're flexible, we're opportunistic, we do invest on marketplaces, we have investment in e-commerce, which is domestically. Yes, we have investment in Israeli market, like Parallels, for example, or Nginx. We do invest in open source when company has significant traction, but revenues not there yet. But there are proof points for technology adoption, so we're obviously jumping on these opportunities. Classic criteria, like right sector, right company, right deal, right people, and we systematically go through all 4 of them. And if it's company in Ukraine or in Russia or Belarus or US, with development teams there, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you for this, and Steve touched very interesting topic. And currently, nowadays, Ukraine very often been compared to Israel. So it's an analogy in terms of the talent, and unfortunately in terms of war activities going on. And my question would be to the panel, how to see the Ukraine is doing so far in replicating Israel model, and what are the chances to do that, and how, let's say, Ukraine could put itself as a country in the perception of investors in the next Israel.
I would say, and I've met the Happy Farm folks several times at Venrock. They've been to visit 2 or 3 times, so I've learned a little bit about what some of the companies look like and what some of the understanding is. I would say that the first step is to get to understand the ecosystem, because the venture community at least in California that I know best, but I don't think it's that different in New York or it's the other big market or Boston, is you've got the attorneys, you've got the accountants, you've got the auditors. There's probably another half dozen, I would say those are the important ones. These are the folks that we look to for guidance. How is the financial system in that country? How should term sheets be written? How should employees be managed? What laws apply to early stage companies? And so if you do some of the work before you come to us and say, we are working with this law firm and they've done some work and they know that the employee practices in Ukraine are such and such, it helps us so much. We will do the work also and we'll meet them, but for you to sort of open the door and say, we've already evaluated it based on some of the things that you've told us, Venrock, and we think this attorney knows our market well, and if you talk to them, these auditors understand, that's a big